Good morning, this is Leah with Backyard Homestead in Starkville, Mississippi, and we are out in the garden this morning. It is Thursday, July 7th, and we are out doing a little garden maintenance, and these peppers have successfully made the transplant. Looks like we only lost one, so we are out here going to drive stakes and stake these peppers this morning, and then we're going to get in here and mulch this area because the ground's pretty exposed. And like I said, everywhere the garden's exposed, weeds are starting to come up. So we are going to get out here and stake these peppers. These are just some stakes that we had left from last year in the shed. We're going to stake these and then get out and mulch the area where we staked them. Or mulch the area where all this soil's bare. Al's going to use this pipe to line his stakes up to try to get it as straight as possible. As neat as possible. Alright, he's using the pipe as a guide just to line these up and get them straight. They just pounded the stakes in with a sledgehammer. We'll get all these driven in, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pepper plants out here. Would have had 15, but one of them died. So we'll get all these staked, and then I may come back and tie them, may give them a little bit longer. I'll come back and show you what the finished product looks like in a minute. And we have banana peppers growing on this fence. And we had, after this big rain, everything really seemed to enjoy it, except for a couple plants. This pepper wilted really badly, and this pepper looked really bad yesterday, but it's kind of recovered a little bit today. This one hasn't turned brown, so I'm going to give it a little while and see if it comes back, but we may end up pulling it. There was a Roma tomato on this end that wilted really badly. I went ahead and pulled it. I guess I should have shown it first, but the top of this one kind of wilted. And it just happened right after the rain, but I'm going to go ahead and replace this Roma on the end that looks so bad. And this chard suffered a little bit. Maybe it just got too soggy, kind of wet feet. And I'm going to peel off or cut off, remove the dead, damaged leaves and feed those to the chickens. Al's got the row of stakes closest to the fence driven in and straight. Now he's working on the edge, on the row closest to us, near the brick border, and keeping everything lined up and nice so it doesn't look bad from the street. It just looks neat and nice. Okay, Al's done the row nearest the fence, and then the row nearest us in the camera, the brick edge. Now he's going back and doing the ones in the middle. Oh, okay. Yep, that looks good. The base of it needs to come back to you a little bit more. Yep. Okay, these peppers, we said we were going to move the buckets, but the buckets are kind of more out of the way here than they would be in that other area we talked about. So instead of moving the buckets, we're going to dig the peppers up out of these buckets and go plant them in that area with the other peppers. So we're going to do our best to dig them up without damaging them. Okay, so we got all the peppers staked, and we got those 3 in the buckets moved. And we went ahead and staked them and tied them and watered them in really well. Let me show you the stakes from the roadside view. So all the stakes are pretty well in line, lined up neatly so it doesn't look like an eyesore from the road. pretty little pepper patch. And now I'm going to get in and mulch the okra and the peppers really, really well with some hay. Okay, got all these peppers staked and got the ones on the end transplanted, and then have them all mulched around good with hay. And so they're good to go. I'm going to let them get a little bit taller, these ones on the right side, before I tie them. They're still supporting themselves pretty well. But that's it for this patch today. And the zinnias on the other side are starting to look pretty. They're about to go crazy, I think. And the okra's starting to get up, so looking good on this side. Now on this side of the garden, we have planted pink eye purple hull peas, and they're up. We've got a nice stand of those, but the dirt is pretty bare around these. We planted okra, and we've got a nice little stand of okra. We planted about 5 or 6 seeds per little hill, so we'll have to thin those back to 1, but I'm going to give them a little while before we get in here and thin them. Give a chance to see which plant's going to be the best, the pick of the crop. But the soil's bare on either side of this, so I'm going to get in here and hay around the okra too. So next chore is to hay around these pink eye purple hull peas, hay around this okra. The Better Boys, they're doing well. They're still real pretty. You need to get out here and pick some of these today. But I had them hayed around, but you can see the hay's broken down, so I'm going to go through and hay them again. And on the other side of the Better Boys, we have 2 more rows of pink eye purple hull peas, and they're getting pretty bare around them too, so I'm going to hay around these peas. I planted the Roma tomatoes on that bench with the rattlesnake climbing green beans and tied them the other day, and they're doing well, and they still have a good covering of chopped leaves, so I'm not going to re-hay them yet. I don't see any weeds coming up between there, so it's still sufficient. I may get them later, but next chore is to hay around these pink eye purple hull peas, hay around these Better Boys, and hay around the okra, and hay around this row of pink eye purple hull peas. And I'm debating on if I need to go ahead and pull this little poor scraggly sunflower. Let's see if I can even zoom in on the bloom. It's tall and it's stretching for sunlight, and it just volunteered, so I may go ahead and remove him today. But that is the next chore. Okay, got everything on this side hayed. I wanted to hay around these peas. See if you can see it. Our row of okra, and they're tiny. I left them sticking up, and again, I'll go back later and thin them, but this whole row all the way down is okra. And then hayed around these Better Boys. Those weeds were starting to poke through. So you tell you need more mulch when you start to see the weeds. So I went through and hayed this area around the Better Boys, and we've got both these rows of pink eye purple hull peas hayed all the way to the end. And again, didn't go all the way over to the Romas over there because they still have a good thick layer of dried leaves. And that is it for this morning. And sun's starting to come out, it's starting to get pretty warm, so I'm about to gather enough food for our meal today, and then I'll go in and get it ready. But I am going to pick these Better Boys because they are bright red and gorgeous. Let me get close to these guys. Look how beautiful. I mean, some of the prettiest tomatoes we've ever had. Gorgeous. Big clusters of them. Now I'm going to pick these guys, and then I'm going to dig us some potatoes. And we've still got green beans, so we're going to have green beans and potatoes. And I harvested eggplant this morning. Got 3 big nice eggplant, and already brought those in and peeled them and sliced them and have them soaking to get ready for lunch. So we're going to have just a vegetable feast today. Have potatoes, green beans, eggplant, and some fresh tomato. We have a few cucumbers. I might slice some cucumbers and do like a cucumber tomato salad to go with lunch. Okay, this is the hill of the potatoes we dug last time, and they're still green, and I don't know if they're putting out any new growth, but we replanted them, and actually maybe a little new growth, so we're going to leave them alone, and we're going to dig this next hill today. Alright, see if we got any over here. Ooh, haha. Oh, a bunch of them. Ooh, look, great big one. Pretty pretty. Another big nice one. Some small ones. Another nice one. Pretty nice. And this one's hanging with a bunch of babies too. I'm going to plant it right back where I got it. See if it'll make some more. Or go ahead and fill these out. There's a worm. I'm going to put this right back in, and hopefully it'll keep developing those ones we just dug up. And this is enough for a nice little mess for us to eat today. Okay, I'm going to pick these beautiful better boys. These are gorgeous. And again, the birds are leaving them alone, so I'm just going to pick the ones that are beautiful, ripe and ready. And leave the ones that are like these. Normally, on years that the birds are messing with them, I would go ahead and pick these and just let them ripen in the window. But since the birds are leaving them alone, I'm just going to let them vine ripen. Go ahead and pick this guy. Beautiful. And pick him. He's a little damaged. I think he'll be a treat for the birds, for the chickens. Alright, I'm going to go on down and pick the rest of these that are really, really ripe and red, and then go in and prepare our meal for today. So I'll go ahead and wrap this up. Got a good bit done today. Got this whole side of the garden mulched with hay. We got our peppers on the other side transplanted, and we got them staked. And we got them tied, and we got that side mulched. So I had a good morning in the garden, and I guess that's it to share today. If I come out this afternoon and do some more harvesting, I'll share, but that may be it for today. And that's it. Thanks for watching.